Are we live, guys? Are we live? Are we live, guys? Guys, are we live? Oh, there we go, guys. Can you see that? Let me know. Let me know, guys. Can you see that? Guys, are we live? Hello, hello. Can you hear me, guys? Is it not working? The screen seems to be. There we go. Can you see, guys? Why is it still black? Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Guys, give me 1 minute. I'm trying to obviously fix this issue. Okay. For some reason, like, it's not letting me. Why is it not working today? Ah, here we go. It is there. All right. Okay. But why does it not work when I go on the tab? Ah, there we go. Right, now it's working. Hello, you didn't just see foundation. Ah, okay, I apologize. Sorry, yeah, I'm focusing on like the higher tier. But yeah, the first few questions will like be relevant for you. Okay. So the first 4 or 5 questions will like be relevant for you. Okay, so this is a practice paper from Maths Genie. Okay. They class it as like a prediction paper, but I don't like using obviously that word. Okay, but okay, so I'll give it just a few minutes here, obviously, for people to actually join us because obviously I've come a bit early. Okay, if I have time, I'll try and do some foundation at the end. Okay, but I'm trying to focus tonight on just doing like random questions. Yeah, okay, so I want to try and cover some histograms in this live. Okay, and just a mixture. Okay, some trig, Pythagoras if I can. Okay, and a few others. Guys, let me know. Can you hear me or not? Yes or no? Okay, wicked, wicked. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll give it a few minutes here for obviously, because obviously I've come obviously a bit early. So we'll start exactly 7:30. Okay, so we'll give it 10 more minutes. Okay, because I have actually come on here obviously a bit earlier than I was meant to. Okay, but we'll be live until around 9 o'clock tonight. Okay. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, guys. If you're new around here, make sure you give us a follow. Okay, subscribe to the channel if you can. Okay, follow me on TikTok if you can. Okay, and check out the content on my page. I know I haven't had a chance yet to obviously post much stuff for GCSE maths. Okay, so I'm trying to obviously make it up to you guys here by doing some questions tonight. But we'll give it a few more minutes, and then we'll start. Okay, anyone in the chat, guys, make sure you say hello. Okay, and tell me how everyone's feeling tonight. Guys, if you're here, let me know. Shall I make a start, guys? Or shall I give it a few more minutes? Shall we make a start, guys? Or shall I give it a few more minutes? Let me know in the chat, please. Do I have anything for A-level vectors? Not yet, actually, not yet, unfortunately. Okay, but I'll try and put something out tomorrow if I can, okay? I'm planning on doing a long stream tomorrow night, actually, for A-level maths, but I'll chat about that more tomorrow, yeah, and later on tonight. So keep an eye here, okay? I'll try, yes, okay, I'll try to, okay? So vectors, okay, vectors, yep. Okay, I'll try to, okay, thank you. Thank you for that, okay? But yeah, just check out my community post here, the home this year, okay? To check out, yeah, and I'll make an announcement, yeah, okay? But I'll try and do as many because I think, yeah, it'll obviously be trickier to try and do obviously some actual videos just tomorrow, but I'd rather focus on doing like longer live streams to do more questions. And then when I end the live, you can obviously rewatch it, okay? In the morning, yeah. It depends. Yeah, I mean, do you have school tomorrow? Because I know a lot of you. Do you have any exams tomorrow? Yeah, if you're doing A level exam, let me know. Or A level maths, let me know in the chat. Okay, you don't. Okay, if you comment on like one of my posts here, give me like a time. Okay, I might try and go live tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll see. It depends on whether or not I've actually got work tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have to see find out. Um, because I get called into work here like last minute actually, unfortunately. But I don't think I'm going to be in tomorrow. Um, but I'll try and do a long live tomorrow. Okay, morning, yeah, or midday. Okay, and we'll just smash out exam questions. But yeah, anyone doing GCSE, guys, let me know. Shall I make a start or not? We'll make a start in just a few minutes. Right, guys, shall I make a start or not? Sorry, I know I've started obviously a bit earlier. Let me know in the chat, guys. Shall I start now? I can't do pure maths. Sorry, now, not now. Sorry, because obviously GCSE tomorrow, so I'm focusing on that. Actually, I apologize. Tomorrow we'll do A level. Okay, I apologize for that. Sorry, home teacher. Right, guys, I'll make a start now. Okay, sorry that obviously I've come obviously a bit early. Okay, so question number one: the height of a building is 310 meters. Correct to the nearest meter. Okay, complete the error interval for the height of the building. Okay, so what's the smallest it could be? So nearest meter. So we're gonna have 309.5. Okay, meters is less than or equal to the length. Okay, less than 310.5. Now, why have I got a less than or equal to and then less than? So this is what I call my lower bound. So I can include all the values up to and including 309.5 meters, but I cannot include 310. Hence why it's strictly less than, okay? So for the upper bound next year, I can include all the values up to and including 310.4999999, so on and so forth. Okay, rather than obviously write that out, obviously, yeah, like forever, I can write it, yeah, as like less than, so 309.5, okay, and 310, okay. Sorry, the bottom right screen here is in the way, actually, I apologize. But yeah, that was actually worth 2 marks, okay. Oops, sorry, okay. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know. Does that make sense? That's question one done. Okay, what about question two, guys? Work out 3.12 times 10 to the minus 6 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the minus 4. Give your answer in standard form. Okay, so I can just really type in the calculator, or I can do it in steps. So I can do 3.12 divided by 2.5 and then multiply by 10 to the minus 6. Okay, over 10 to the minus 4. Now, when I'm dividing with the same base, I can subtract the powers. Okay, minus 6 minus 4 will be minus 6 plus 4, which is minus 2. Again, if you're unsure, just put it into your calculator. And then we're going to work out what is 3.12 times 2.5. So let's work it out, okay, quickly. Okay, I'm doing it on my phone here. 3.12 divided by 2.5. That's going to be 1.248 times 10 to the minus 2. And therefore, guys, that is going to be my answer, okay, for question number 2. Okay, so that is dividing in standard form. Okay, of course, if you want to, if it's easier, then obviously just enter it in one go. Okay, but I like to obviously do it in steps. Okay, remember, standard form here is a number between 1 and 10 times 10 to the power of something. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're looking at a lowest common multiple here in this question. Question number 3. 3 buses, bus A, bus B, and bus C, are all use the same bus stop. Bus A runs every 10 minutes, bus B runs every 12 minutes, and bus C runs every 14 minutes. Okay, all 3 buses, okay, are at the stop at 11 a.m. What time will all 3 buses next be at the bus stop? Okay, so it's the lowest common multiple. So I'm working out the lowest common multiple of 10, 12, and 14. Okay, one way to do this, okay, is to multiply the numbers here together, okay, or just write out, like the times tables. So we're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, and 140. Okay, so I'm just adding 10 each time. Now, why am I not doing it anymore? Well, because I know that realistically, I'll not need to obviously go back, yeah, past 140. Oh, sorry. Okay, so 12, we have 24, 36. Okay, so 48, sorry, 48, then 60, then 72, okay, then 84, okay, then 96. Oh, sorry. So then 96, I'll do it up here, okay. Then we'll have 108, then we'll have 120, okay, so we'll obviously stop there for the moment. We've got 14, 28, um, 42, sorry, okay, and then 56, okay. Sorry, I'm going obviously a bit fast here. Obviously, yeah, obviously take time, okay, but you'll find out the lowest common multiple, okay, 56, okay. What's next? That will be 70. Then we got 84. Then we got 98. Then we have, if I'm not mistaken, then we have 112. Then we have 126, and then we have 140. So our answer, guys, is 140 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to do 11 a.m. plus 140 minutes. Now remember, 140 minutes in hours, guys, is 2 hours 10 minutes because there is 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay. So we're going to have 2 hours 20 minutes. Okay. I'm going to add that on here to 11 a.m. 11 plus 2 is going to be 13. So we're going to have 13:20. Okay. Or you can write it as 1:20 p.m. Okay. Either answer would be fine. Okay. So that, guys, is going to be my final answer. Okay. And that was worth 3 marks. Okay. Looking at a context question involving the lowest common multiple. Okay, question number 4, guys. Sorry if I'm actually going a bit fast here, but please obviously stop me at any point. Okay, I'll give you a bit of time here to obviously try this question. Okay, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, so I'll give you about 2 minutes to obviously try this question. Looking at the estimate of a mean. Okay, so a little clue here is we'll need 2 extra columns or 1 extra column. Okay, the midpoint and then the midpoint times frequency column. Okay, but I'll give you a chance to have a go at the question, and then I'll go through the answer in about 2 minutes, okay, from now. Then you got midpoint times frequency. Okay. And let me know, yeah, is it making sense so far? Am I going too fast? Okay. I'll give you a minute or so, okay. Okay. Right, guys, so let's talk about it. Okay. So to work out the midpoint, okay, I'm going to add the two numbers and then half it. That'll be 22.5. Okay. Then I'm going to do 25 plus 30 will be 55 divided by 2. Okay. So that'll be 27.5. Okay. So 27.5. The midpoint of 30 and 35 will be 32.5. Again, if you're unsure, just add the two end numbers, okay, and then divide it by 2, and that'll be 30. That'll be 40, so it'll actually be 40. And all I do now is just times them together. So 2 times 22.5, that'll be 45. 10 times 27.5 will be 275. 3 times 40 will be 120, and then 32.5 times 5. Okay, let's just work it out, okay? So 32.5 times 5, okay? 5 times 5 is going to be 25, so 5, carry the 2, decimal point. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is going to be 12, so 2, carry the 1. 5 times 3 is going to be 15, plus 1 is going to be 16, so it's going to be 162.5. And then now, guys, to work out the estimate of a mean, I'm going to do the sum of the midpoint times frequency column, okay, divided by the total frequency. So here, yeah, total frequency is going to be 20, so I'm going to be dividing by 20, okay, and then I'm going to add up, okay, I'm going to add up the midpoint times frequency column, okay, so we've got 45, okay, 45 plus 275 plus 162.5 plus 120, okay, doing that on my calculator, what will I get? Okay, so on my calculator, guys, I'm going to get 45 plus 275 plus 162.5 plus 120. That will give me 602.5 divided by 5. Sorry, divided by 20, sorry, equals, and then divide that by 20. We get our final answer of 30.125 seconds. And therefore, guys, that is going to be my answer for question number 3. Okay, of number 4, sorry, number 4. Okay, let's move on now. Okay, so looking at some algebra, okay, involving shapes. I'll give you a few minutes here to obviously try this question. Okay, and then obviously, yeah, we'll do it in a second. Okay, but yeah, sorry guys for coming on obviously a bit earlier than I was meant to. Okay, but I hope you're finding it helpful so far, and I hope you're all feeling okay about tomorrow's exam. Okay, a few points actually mentioned. Yeah, I think number one, guys, yeah, is show your full workings in the exam. Okay, even if you can't do a question, show your full workings. Okay, because examiners are looking to give marks. Okay, so show your full workings. And round your answers at the end. Okay. Guys, let me know you ready for it. I'll give you 30 more seconds, guys, and then I'll do the answer.
You're going to
Oh,
get a
sorry.
bit stressed out.
Right, guys, so let's talk about it now, okay? So, ABCD is a trapezium. AB is parallel to DC. So this is important. Find the size of angle BCD. Whenever we're working with parallel lines, guys, we need to obviously remember our angle rules. Okay. Now, I know that co-interior angles, okay, add to make 180. So I know that 2x plus 19 plus 3x minus 6 has to equal 180. Okay, are we happy with that? Okay, so co-interior angles add to make 180, and this can only happen when I have a pair of parallel sides. Okay, so 2x plus 3x is going to be 5x, so we got 5x. 19 minus 6 will be plus 13. Okay, that's equal to 180. Subtract 13, guys, yeah, and obviously divide by 5. So we're going to have 5x equals 167. No, sorry, 157. Okay. And then we need to divide it by 5. But we're not going to get a whole number answer here, are we? Okay. So let's just double check. Nope, that's paper 1. We want paper 2. Where are we looking? There we go. Okay, so I am actually right. Okay, so we got 5x equals 157. Dividing both sides by 5, we're going to get 157 fifths. So x, guys, is equal to 33.4, okay, because they're co-interior angles, okay? Now, what do I do now? Well, I can now substitute, okay, x in to work out my other angles, and then use the fact that angles in a quadrilateral add to make 360, okay? So we're going to have 3 lots of 33.4. So we're going to have 3 lots of, okay, minus 6. So that'll be 95.1. What about this? 2 times 33.4, that'll be 66.8. So 66.8 plus 19 is 85.8. And then lastly, substituting in 33.4 into here, we're going to have 4 lots of 33.4, and then minus 57 will be 76.6. And then it wants angle BCD, so it wants this angle here. Angles in a quadrilateral are to make 360, so we're going to do this plus this plus this. Take away from 360, we're going to have 85.8 plus 76.6 plus 95.1 is 257.5. And then I'm going to do 360 minus that. Okay, and that, guys, will give me my final answer. So 360 minus 257.5. Okay, so 360, and my final answer will be 102.5 degrees. And that, guys, is my answer to question number 5. Okay, so whenever we are working with parallel lines, remember alternate angles, remember corresponding angles, remember vertically opposite angles, and also remember the co-interior angles. Okay, so learn those for your exam tomorrow. Okay, well done, RS. Yep, well done. Oh, okay, that's my answer for that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, there's my workings, guys. Yeah, like in case you can't see it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, sorry if I'm not, if I'm going to be a bit fast, guys, but please do stop me. Okay, plotting quadratics. Okay, so again, this is likely to come up tomorrow, okay, on your calculator exam. Okay, 6A. Complete the table of values for which y equals 7 plus 2x minus x squared. So we're going to substitute in each of our x coordinates to get a corresponding y coordinate. Let's start with 0 because that's nice and easy. When x is 0, 7 plus 2 times 0 minus 0 squared, well, that would just be 7, okay? Because 2 times 0 is going to be 0, and then you'll have minus 0 squared, which is going to be 0, so you have 7 plus 0 plus minus 0, which would be 7. Next one, x is 1, you're going to have 7 plus 2 times 1, which would be 2, and then minus 1 squared, that would be 1. So 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 minus 1 is going to be 8. What about x equals 2? You're going to have 7 plus 2 times 2, that will be 4. So 7 plus 4, subtract 2 squared. Okay, so 7 plus 4 is going to be 11. 11 minus 2 squared, so that'll be 11 minus 4. 11 minus 4, guys, will be 7. Okay, when x equals 3, we're going to have 7 plus 2 times 3, so that'll be 6. 7 plus 6, guys, okay, minus 3 squared. So that'll be 13. 13 minus 9 will be 4. And then when x equals 4, we're going to have 7 plus 2 times 4, that'll be 8. So 7 plus 8, subtract 4 squared, so minus 16. Okay. 7 plus 8 is going to be 15. Actually, 15 minus 16 is going to be minus 1. Okay, there we go. Last one, a bit more tricky here. So we're looking at the minuses now. So we're going to have 7 plus 2 times minus 1. So that'll be 7 minus 2. And then remember, I'm subtracting negative 1 squared. Negative 1 squared, okay, means negative 1 times negative 1. That'll be positive 1. So it's 7 minus 2 minus positive 1. So 7 minus 2 minus 1. That will give me 4, guys. And then lastly, when x is minus 2, you're going to have 7 plus 2 times minus 2. So that'll be minus 4 or plus minus 4. And then subtract minus 2 squared. So subtract positive 4. Okay. That will give me minus 1. And therefore, guys, that's my list of coordinates, okay, which I can now plot on the graph. So we got minus 2, minus 1. So let's just zoom out actually. Let's just zoom out a bit so we can see it. So minus 2, minus 1 will go there. Okay, minus 1, 4 will go there, guys. 0, 7, okay, will go there. Okay, then we've got 1, 8, that will go there, guys. Then we have 2, 7, that will go there. 3, 4, that will go there. And then finally, guys, we have 4 minus 1, or 4 negative 1. Oh, that's going to go there. Okay, I can now draw like a nice smooth curve. Okay. Oh, it's really smooth actually. Sorry, yeah. I'm doing a bit like it's freehand here, okay? But therefore, guys, that is going to be my answer for part B. Okay. So again, that's a very, very, very common topic in your exam. So please, please, yeah, make sure you're happy with this question. Revise it if you need to. Okay, is plotting quadratics and substitution. Part C, use your graph to estimate or to find estimates of the solutions of the equation 7 plus 2x minus 6 equals 0. So that's when we're looking at the line y equals 0. Y equals 0 is just the x-axis. So where does the graph cross the x-axis? It crosses it here and it crosses it there. So roughly, that's minus 1.5, minus 1.6, minus 1.7. That'll be minus 1.8. And then I'm going to call that 4.1, okay, to 1 dp. But again, examiners will be a bit more lenient, guys, okay, with these questions, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Does that make sense? Let me know. Okay, we'll move on now. Okay. This one, yeah, I'll come back to Shia in a minute, actually, because I want to try and focus on as many questions as possible. Okay, we'll do question 8, and then we'll do question 9. Okay, so looking at compound interest. Okay. Question 8, Millie invests 2 grand in a savings account for 4 years. She gets 3.9% per year compound interest. Work out how much Millie will have in her savings account at the end of 4 years. Give your answer to the nearest pound. Okay, so it'll be 2,000 multiplied by 103.9%, which as a decimal will be 1.039, okay? Because you're doing 100% plus 3.9%. So that becomes 103.9%, okay? And then as a decimal, a percentage to a decimal, you divide it by 100. So that the decimal multiplier now reads 1.039, okay? And it's the power of 4 because it's 4 years, okay? If we bring this into our calculator, guys, okay, we will get an answer. Okay, anyone got an answer for this in the chat? Let me know. Okay, so 2,000 times by 1.039 to the power of 4. Okay, we get 2,331 to the nearest pound because it's 0.73 or 0.7. So it's 2,330.7, okay, 0.73. They want it to the nearest pound, okay? So we don't want any pence. That 7 rounds that up to a 1. So it's going to be 2,231. And that, guys, is going to be our final answer. Okay, that's compound interest. That's a question that I'm almost certain will come up tomorrow. Okay, or papers 3. Okay. So please revise that topic. Question number 9, guys. Looking at some trig here. So Sokatoa. Again, another hot topic, okay, on foundation and higher. Okay. Work out the size of angle BAC. BAC. So that's this one here. Okay. Step 1, we label our sides. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent. And this is the hypotenuse. We now use our famous acronym SOHCAHTOA. Okay. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan or tangent on my angle is opposite over adjacent. Okay. So we're given information here about the opposite and the adjacent. So we're going to use tan. So tan of my angle, I'll call it theta or tan x. Okay. Tan theta, guys, is equal to the opposite over the adjacent is equal to 7.5 over 12.1. Okay. And then to work out theta, we would do tan inverse on both sides. So theta equals tan inverse or tan to the minus 1, okay, of 7.5 over 12.1, okay? And if I do that on my calculator, guys, okay, give me just 1 second to type it in, okay? And then we'll obviously round our answer to 2 sig figs. Okay, let's just type it in quickly. Okay. Okay, so shift and then tan, and then we're doing 7.2, guys. So 7.2 divided by 12.1, close the brackets, and to 3 sig figs, we're going to have 30.8 degrees to 3 sig figs, okay, because we have 30.75. The 5 rounds the 7 up, okay. So my final answer is 30.8 degrees, okay, to 3 significant figures. And that's how we answer a classic exam style question involving trig, okay. Awesome. Hello, welcome. Hello, Bobby Builder. Hello, is it Iber? Hello, Gloria. Welcome. Hope you're well. Hello. Okay, that's that one there. Okay. Right, this one's slightly more trickier, okay? I am going to start skipping a few actually because I want to try and do some of like the later questions actually as well. Okay, question 10. The diagram shows triangle ABC. ADB is a straight line. Okay, the size of angle BCD to the size of angle ACD is 2 to 3. Okay, so that'll be, so let's call BCD, so let's call that 2x, okay, and we'll call ACD, okay, so we'll call ACD, so ACD, we'll call this 3x, okay. The question says work out the angle of ADC, so it wants this angle here, okay. So this is actually slightly more trickier, okay. So step 1, look at the bigger triangle, okay. So we've got ABC, angles in the triangle add to make 180. So I'm gonna have 52 plus 83 plus all of this, so that'll be 5x plus 5x equals 180. And then I can rearrange this equation to make x the subject. So x, guys, x will equal 180 minus 83 minus 52 all over 5. Okay. So that, guys, is going to be my answer. Okay. What is my voice here? That is actually my natural voice here. Sorry, it's actually my natural voice. I promise. Okay. A lot of people think that I use like voice actually changes here, but this is my natural voice. Okay, I've got quite like a deep voice actually. I've got quite a deep voice. Right, working this out, guys, on our calculators. What do we get, guys? So let's just double check. We've got 180 minus 83 subtract 52. So we get x equals 45 fifths. 45 divided by 5, guys, is 9. So I now know what x is. I can now go up here and fill in some gaps. If x is 9, okay, then 2x, that'll be 18 there. And then 3x will be 3 times 9 here, so that'll be 27. I can now say for this smaller triangle, ADC, the angles in the triangle add to make 180. So we're going to have 52 plus 27, and then take this away from 180. 7 plus 2 is 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. So we do 180 minus 179. Sorry, minus 79, sorry, 79. And we get 101. And therefore, guys, my final answer is going to be 101 degrees. And that's my answer for that question, okay? So I'll give you 10 seconds here to obviously screenshot that. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I haven't done vectors yet. I haven't actually done vectors yet. Okay, I think this question here has like a vectors question somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but I'm gonna actually skip a few here because I want to try and do some of the harder questions. Okay, but yeah, we've got one there. Okay, but I'll come back to that. Okay, later on. Okay, I want us to try this question. Okay, sorry if I should jump in the paper here, but I want us to now try this question here actually, because I think you're likely to have a question like this in the exam tomorrow, especially for Edexcel. Okay, so solving quadratic simultaneous equations, grade 9 material. Solve algebraically the simultaneous equations x squared plus 2y squared equals 10, and then 3x minus 2y is equal to 8, and it's worth 5 marks. Okay. So step 1, rearrange the second equation. So it's x equals or y equals, and then sub it into the first equation. So I'm going to rearrange it here to obviously make x here, okay? So I'm going to do add 2y to both sides and then divide it by 3. So we're going to have x equals 8 plus 2y over 3. Okay, making x the subject. I'm now going to plug it into here. Okay, I'm going to have 8 plus 2y plus 3, sorry, all over 3. That's all squared. Okay, plus 2y squared is equal to 10. Okay, I'm now going to expand this fraction bracket that I've got. Okay, so expand the top, actually expand the bottom. On the bottom, yeah, I'm going to have 3 squared here, which is equal to 9. On the top, I'm going to have, yeah, obviously double brackets. I'm going to have 8 plus 2y times 8 minus 2y. Sorry, times 8 plus 2y. Sorry, I think I'm getting obviously a bit actually tired now. Sorry, after a long day of tutoring. Okay, I'm getting obviously a bit tired now, but that's fine. Okay, and obviously I've got plus 2y squared is equal to 10. Okay, I'm going to times everything up by 9. Okay, so there's no fraction there. So times everything by 9, guys. That's going to go. That will become 18. and that will become is equal to 90, okay? So guys, let me know, yeah, is it making sense so far? Is it making sense? Okay, I'm now going to expand this bracket. 8 times 8, that'll be 64. 8 times 2y, that'll be 16y. Okay. 2y times 8, that'll be plus 16y. And then 2y times 2y, that'll be positive 4y squared. Okay. 2 times 2 is 4, and then y times y is y squared, guys. Okay. Plus 18y squared. And then I'm going to subtract the 90 because I want the quadratic to equal to 0. Okay. I'm now going to collect my like terms, guys. Okay. So what do I have, guys? Well, I've got 4y squared plus 18y. That'll be 22y squared. 16y plus 16y will be plus 32y. And then 64 minus 90. Okay. So 64 minus 90. What will that give me? That'll give me minus 26. Okay. Is equal to 0. I can then halve everything because everything's even. So half everything. So we're going to have 11y squared plus 16y minus 13 is equal to 0. And then if I can factorize it, I'll try and obviously factorize, but I don't think it can actually factorize. Okay. And then all we do now, yeah, is use the formula, okay, to work out what y would be. So remember, formula which is given to you in the formula booklet, okay, the quadratic formula. So x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we got minus b plus or minus b squared, so that'll be 256 minus 4 times a, okay, times c, so that'll be minus 4 times that, that'll be minus 44. So minus 44 times 13, okay, all over 2 times a. So 2 times 11, okay, that will go to 22 on the bottom. So that will become 22 on the bottom, okay. And then I'm going to simplify this first, and then I'll put it into my calculator right at the end, okay. So I'm going to work out what 44 times 13 is quickly on my calculator. So 44 times 13 is equal to 572, okay, minus 4. I'm going to be adding it, so yeah, I'm going to be adding that because it's 2 minuses, and then I'm going to add 256. So we have y equals minus 16 plus or minus the square root of 8 to 8, guys, all over 22. And then that is going to be my two solutions to the quadratic. Okay. Anyone got an answer for these guys in the chat? Let me know. Okay. So you have minus 16 plus root 8 to 8 over 22. Then you have minus 16 minus root to 8 over 22. Okay. It just, yeah, it says solve there. Okay. So my two y values are going to be as follows. Okay. So we're going to have minus 16, clear all. So minus 16 plus the square root of 8 to 8. Okay. okay, and then divide that by, oops, so answer divided by 22. So we're going to have 0.58 to 2dp, and then we're going to have the negative root, okay? So I have minus 16 minus root 828 over 22. That will give me minus 2.04 to 2dp. I'm now going to substitute these back into here to work out what x is. X is equal to that. We're going to have 8 plus 2y over 3. So we have x equals 8 plus 2y over 3. Okay, so I'm now going to substitute in, okay, each value separately to work out my corresponding x value, okay, and therefore, guys, that will be my solution, okay, to the quadratic simultaneous equations, okay, question, okay. So what we're going to have 8 plus 2 times this, okay. So lots of Casio work today, guys. Lots of calculator work, okay. So we got 8 plus 2 times 0.58, okay, and then divide that by 3. Oops. That will be, so for this one, x would equal to 3.05. And then for this one, guys, when y is minus 2.04, we're going to have 8 plus or minus 8 plus minus minus 4.04. So we're going to have 8 minus 4.08, sorry. Okay. And divide that by 3, and we get x equals 1.31 to 2dp. And that, guys, is my answer, okay, to this quadratic simultaneous equations, okay, that I think is very likely to come up here tomorrow on your AQA higher, Excel higher, and even OCR higher, okay? Well, for OCR, sorry, yeah, for OCR, they would obviously not have that decimal work there, okay? Because obviously, yeah, it's a non-calculated paper for OCR, but that is the idea, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Does it make sense? Let me know. Okay, Hassan said solid. Yeah, it's quite a difficult topic. Yeah, it's quite a difficult topic. Okay, so we'll do a few more. Okay, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so let's obviously try, yeah, this one here. Okay, I'm focusing on some algebra today. So show that 2x over x minus 3 subtract 3x minus 1 all over x plus 3 plus 1 can be written in the form ax plus b over x squared minus 9, where a and b are integers to be found. Okay, no worries, Hassan. Yeah, no worries, Hassan. Yeah, no worries. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so this is going to be adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. Okay, step 1, put everything under a common denominator. Okay, so put everything under x minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, and then we can combine our fractions. Okay, remember, whenever you're adding or subtracting fractions, whether it's numerical here or algebraic, you always want to find the common denominator first. That's usually found by multiplying the two denominators here together. Okay, that's not always the lowest common multiple here, but that's always like my first get. Okay, guesswork. And then we've got x minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay. So what we're going to have, we'll have times top and bottom of this year by x plus 3. So we're going to have 2x brackets x minus 3. Sorry, x plus 3. Sorry, I apologize. Okay. Minus, and I have times this by x minus 3. Okay. Be careful, guys, here. Be very actually careful actually here, okay? Remember, I'm actually subtracting this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand each fraction bracket separately, okay? And then I'll combine my signs at the end, okay? I'm subtracting this, and then I'm going to be adding this, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Are we happy with that so far? Okay. If I expand the bottom, I'm going to have the difference of 2 squares, okay? To obviously save us some time, we're going to have x squared minus 9 on the bottom, okay? Check it if you're unsure. On the top, I'm going to have 2x squared plus 6x. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 6x, okay? Then I'm going to be subtracting, okay, and this is important. On the bottom, I'm going to have x squared minus 9. And then the third one, okay, we're going to have x squared minus 9 on the top, and then x squared minus 9 on the bottom, okay? Tarinia, can you actually stop actually spamming, please, okay? I'll tell you actually in a minute, okay? Let me actually finish this question. But please stop spamming, please. Okay, here I'm going to have 3x times x. That'll be 3x squared. So I'm going to have, okay. Then I'm going to have minus 9x. Okay, minus x. That'll be minus 10x. And then minus 1 times minus 3 will be positive 3. Okay. And now I can combine my numerators together. Okay, being careful with my signs. Okay, this is important. Remember, I'm doing this, subtract this, yeah? So I'm minusing that, then I'm going to plus that, and then I'm going to minus that. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 6x minus 3x squared plus 10x and then minus 9. Sorry, minus 3, sorry. And then plus x squared minus 9. Okay. On the top, and then on the bottom, we'll have x squared minus 9. Okay, on the bottom of the fraction. Okay. Collecting like terms on the top, I've got 2x squared minus 3x squared, so that'll be minus 1x squared plus that, so that will obviously cancel, so the x squareds are gone. I've got 6x plus 10x, that'll be 16x. Then I've got minus 3 minus 9, that'll be minus 12. This is all over x squared minus 9, which, guys, is our final answer, okay? Because it said give your answer in the form ax plus b over x minus 9. So a is equal to 16, and then b is equal to minus 12. Okay. Therefore, guys, that is going to be my final answer, okay? And again, another hot topic, okay? So algebraic fractions, okay? That's that one done, okay? Right, Tarun's got a question here. So Tarun's actually got a question. So what topics to actually revise for? My best actually advice here. So go on Corbett Maths here. Look at the checklists for the unseen topics here on Corbett Maths, okay? For Edexcel Higher, okay, and revise those topics. Okay, that is my advice there. Okay, let's try this one here. So iterations, again, another hot topic. Okay, 17a, using xn plus 1 equals the square root of 6xn minus 1 with x0 equals 5. Find the values of x1, x2, and x3. So x1 is when n equals 0, okay? So you have x1 equals the square root of 6x naught. Well, x naught is going to be 5, so 6 times 5 is going to be 30. 30 minus 1 is going to be 29. So x1 equals root 29. Okay, what would that be? Yes, so let's just do it on my calculator quickly. So the square root of 29, that's roughly, okay, 5.38516, okay, dot. Okay, x2 is when n is equal to 1, guys. So n equals 1, you plug it into there, you have the square root of 6x1. So you have the square root here of 6 lots of root 29, and then subtract 1. Okay, what would that give me? So I'm going to have the square root of 6 root 29, and then my arrow button, so minus 1. Okay, I get 5.5956, okay, 2293, okay. And then to work out x3, we sub in n equals 2, okay. So we're going to have x3 equals the square root of 6x2. So the square root of 6 times this, and then subtract 1. Okay. So I'm going to put the square root of 6 times answer. Okay. And then minus 1. Okay. That will give me 5.70734,034. Okay, and that's iterations complete. Okay, again, very likely to have a question here. Okay, particularly for Edexcel. Okay, and possibly AQA. Okay, hello MSI, welcome. Hope you're well. Thank you for being here. Okay, guys, does that make sense? Sorry, does that make sense? Let me know. Also, can you hear me, guys? Sorry, is everything clear? Can you hear me? Does that make sense? Okay, so we might not do all the questions. Okay, I'm focusing on like the ones that I like to come up. I've got no idea it's here. No idea. Hello, Rahul. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining. Okay, I've got no idea it's here, Tarun. I've got no idea. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's try question 14 this year. Everyone's favorite circle theorems. Okay, so this is quite a tricky topic. Okay, so A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of a circle center O. ADC equals 118. AOC equals X. Work out the value of X. You must show all your workings. Okay, step 1. Okay, angles at the center, okay, is double the angle at the circumference. Okay, so if this is X, this will be X over 2. Okay, so that's rule number 1. Okay, yeah, Tarun, sorry, this is actually a paper 2. Sorry, yeah. So if you look here, so I got this here from Maths Junior here. So I got it from Maths Junior. Okay, so this is a practice paper 2 higher. Okay, for tomorrow's paper. Okay, I'm just doing some like random questions here. Okay, from this paper, but I'm trying to focus here on like the trickier stuff. Okay, so my second rule, okay, is that opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add to make 180. So what is that? Well, this plus this has to equal 180. Okay, so let's obviously call this y. Okay, you have 118 plus y is equal to 180. To work out y, I'm going to subtract 118 on both sides. So y equals 180 minus 118. Okay, so doing that on my calculator, 180 minus 118, that'll be 62. So 62, okay, which equals that angle there. Okay, if this is 62, angle X will be double that because angles at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So X equals 2 times 62, which would be 124. So the value for X, guys, will be 124 degrees. And that, guys, is my answer for question number 14. So 124 degrees, okay? That's my answer for that, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Okay, again, this is likely to come up tomorrow. Okay, not for certain, but it's likely to come up tomorrow. Okay, no guarantee. Are there any questions, guys? Are there any questions? Let me know. Are there any questions? Okay. We will finish around 9 p.m. tonight, okay, because I don't want to stay up actually too late. Okay, and I don't want to encourage. Okay, Alia says that. Okay, Rahul says clear. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, okay, right. Let's try question 30. Let's in no order. Okay, in a restaurant, there are 7 starters, 9 main courses, and 6 desserts. Okay, on the menu, work out the total number of ways of choosing a starter, a main course, and a dessert. So this is going to be combinations. It'll be 7 times 9 times 6, and that will tell you the total number of possible ways of choosing a starter, a main, and a dessert. Okay, Gertia, if you give me 1 minute, Gertia, I'll go over it. Okay. So 7 times 9 will be 63, and then times it by 6. So that'll be 18. 18 plus 360. So that will be 378. And that's my answer for this combinations question. Okay. So combinations, yeah, you multiply, okay, the possible outcomes together, okay? Right, Jerty says, sorry, yeah, so Jerty says, over, yeah, question 14. Is that right, Jerty? Is it question 14? Should I go over, or is it question 13? Sorry, let me know. Sorry, guys, for going obviously a bit actually fast, sorry, okay? Yeah, let me know, guys. Does it make sense? You can like rewind the video whilst I'm live, okay? But yeah, Jerty, sorry. Is it question 13 or is it question 14? Sorry, let me know. Okay. So circle theorems. Okay. So A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of a circle center O. ADC is 118. AOC is going to be X degrees. Work out the value of X. You must show all your workings. So step 1, the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So whatever X is, this will be half of it. So I'll call it X over 2. Okay. Rule number 2 for circle theorems, the opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add to make 180. So you have 118 plus y is equal to 180. Okay, rearrange this. So subtract 118 on both sides. You get that y equals 62. That's the angle at the circumference. So that there is going to be 62. We know our first rule that the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So x is equal to 62 times 2, because the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. My answer, guys, will be 124. Okay, that's my answer for question number 14. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Okay, right, so let's have a look here at like a different question. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, have to zoom out a bit. Okay, but yes, I can do vectors. Okay, yep. So there's one at the end of here. So after this question, I'll do some vectors. Okay, so question 15 is here. The cumulative frequency graph gives information about the time in seconds each of 60 people took to complete a puzzle. Okay, it's given us the graph this time, and we're asked to work out the frequency. So we're going to read off the coordinates. So from 0 to 20, okay, that's going to be 6. From 20 to 40, that will be, so look there, yeah, so that'll be 16. Okay. From 40 to 60, okay, that will be, let's have a look. That will be 31, 2, 3. That'll be 33. Okay. Oh, is it not working? No, no, ignore me, Alia. Sorry, yeah. I haven't actually got that anymore. Sorry, Ali. I apologize. Carl, yeah, this question here is actually like on the actual overlap. Okay, so it's actually both tiers. Okay, from 60 to 80, we're gonna have 50. From 80 to 100, we're gonna have 52. And then from 100 to 120, we're going to have 60, okay? So that's there, okay? So that, guys, is my answer for question number 15, okay? Right, let us try this nasty vectors question, okay, at the end, okay? So this is likely to come up tomorrow, okay? Thank you, thank you. It's Alia, thank you. Okay, so this is actually higher only. This is question 23. The diagram shows a quadrilateral OABC, ADB. So when we're looking at ADB are straight lines and OCD are straight lines, or ODC. Okay, the vector OA is 5A, OB is 6B, the vector AC is 2A plus 3B. Using a vector method, find the ratio of A to D, okay, to D to B, okay? So our answer will have to be like whole numbers. So for example, it might be like 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, okay? We should not really have any fractions yet, okay? Unless they're really like nasty numbers, okay? But our answer should be like in one of these formats, okay? So step one. So to work out ADB, okay, so ADB, guys, will be BO plus OA, yeah? So we're going to go this way and then we're going to go this way, okay? For that one there, okay? So ADB, okay? No, sorry, ignore me, sorry. So ADB, sorry, will be, oh no, my actual keypad's just crashed. Sorry. So it goes this way, and then we go this way. So AB, sorry, not ADB, sorry, AAB, sorry. So vector AB, okay, is AO plus OB, okay. Does that make sense, guys, so far? Does that make sense? Okay. So you follow it in the arrow that is given to you, okay? This way and then that way. Now, AO, okay, is the opposite sign to OA. So AO will be minus 5A. Okay, awesome, awesome, okay. And then I put like a little underline, okay. We obviously underline vectors, okay, because we can't do bold in the exam. And then we're going to add OB, so that'll be plus 6B, okay. There we go, okay. Now, this is where, yeah, it gets obviously a bit more trickier. So the ratio A to D to D to B, that's a fraction of the vector AB, okay? So the vector AD, okay, is a fraction of the amount, okay? So it's the fraction. So it will be K lots of AB, okay? The reason why it's a fraction is because obviously that's the whole line there from A to D, okay? That'll be part of it. So let's call this here X and let's call this Y, okay? So vector AD will be X over X plus Y, okay? In that vector notation. And then vector DB, okay, will be Y over X plus Y, okay? Does that make sense so far, guys? Does that make sense so far? Are we happy with that? Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so our job is to work out what the ratio is. Now, do we have any more information? Okay, to work out AD, okay, I need to work out what DO is and what AO is, okay, for that. And then to work out what DB is, okay, I'm going to work out what DC is and then what that is, okay? So from D to B, I'll do that plus that, okay? So let me obviously just make it like yeah, like another color here, okay? So to work out AD, okay, it will be AC plus CD. Now AC I know is 2A plus 3B, but I don't know what CD is, do I? Okay. Okay. So it's time to do obviously a bit of thinking. Okay. So to work out OC will be OA plus AC. So OC, okay, will be OA plus AC. So it'll be this plus this. So it'll be 7A plus 3B. That'll be OC. Okay. Can I now work out OD or not? Do I have enough information to work out OD? Well, OD is going to be a fraction of that. Okay. Now, this is where, yeah, it gets obviously a bit more trickier. Okay, now visibly, okay, it looks like OD and DC are equidistant or equal in length, but my issue is, can I prove that though? Okay. So the question now becomes, is how do I work out OC or DC? Okay. Sorry guys, yeah, I'm just having a bit of actually a think, sorry, yeah, okay, because these are actually quite tricky, okay. How many marks is actually worth? Yeah, okay, so she's worth 5 marks, okay, so yeah. Okay, so we are actually getting there, we are obviously making some progress. Okay, let's try and work out CB, okay, and then from there, hopefully we can fill in or plug in any gaps. Guys, is it making sense so far? Is it making sense? Let me know. Is it making sense so far? So CB, okay, or BC. Okay, I'll do obviously, I'll do obviously CB. Okay, cool, cool. So CB will be BO plus OA plus plus AC. So that'll be minus 6B plus 5A, okay, plus 2A plus B. Let's collect our like terms. Okay, in total we're gonna have 7A and then minus 6B plus 3B, that'll be minus 3B. Okay, so that's now worked out CB or BC. Okay, but that is actually classed as, yeah, CB. Okay, going in this direction, yeah, so this direction. So follow it like an arrow. Okay, obviously if it's BC, then it would be the opposite. So BC would be 3B minus 7A. Okay, right. Can we fill in now any gaps? Okay, so I want to obviously work out, yeah, what AD is and DB is, but I don't know what OD is and I don't know what DC is. But do I have enough information to work out that? Okay, isn't that BC and not CB? So you might be right, Aaliyah. Sorry, yeah, Aaliyah. Okay, so CB. Yeah, sorry, yeah, sorry. So CB would actually be that. Sorry, so CB would be that. Okay, and then BC would be the opposite. So it'd be 7A. Well done, yeah. Well done, Aaliyah. Okay, thank you for correcting me there. Okay, so BC is that, and then CB is that. Okay, right, guys. So my final question now. So, do I have enough information now to work out my vector or not? So my job was to work out what AD was. Now, to work out AD, I need to work out what OA is. That'll be minus 5A, but I'm going to work out what OD is. Anyone got any idea on how to work out what OD is, guys? Let me know in the chat. Anyone got any idea? Okay, so Rohal, yeah, actually, this is actually like, yeah, like a grade 8, 9, I'd say, okay? So grade 8, 9. Okay. So anyone got any ideas on how to work out the vector OD or DC or AD or DB? Okay, let me know in the chat. Okay. Use another letter for multiple of OC. Okay, so OC, okay, so OD is some multiple, we'll call it, so yeah, I've used K, I'll use, I don't know, I'll use F, that's not English, it's not English yet, but that's fine. So F lots of OC, okay, but what can I do with these constants though? That is my problem. what can I do with these constants? And then dB is k lots of AB, or I'll call it K2, K2AB, where F, K, and K2 are constants. Okay. So I've got the constants using a vector method. Find the ratio of AD to DB. Okay, so we're so close, guys. Yeah, we're so close now. I'm just trying to figure out on how to work out the constants now. Okay, anyone got any idea on how to work out the constants? Okay, i.e. the numbers in front of my vectors. Okay, let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, so doing some thinking here, it looks like I'm gonna have to form and solve a pair of simultaneous equations because I've got lots of variables. Okay, so AD, okay, so AD, guys, is AO, so it's minus 5A plus OD, okay, so we'll call that FKDC, where F is going to be just a constant, okay. Sorry, FOC, sorry, okay, where OC, guys, is 7A plus 3B, so we got minus 5A plus a constant, okay, I've called it F here, so we'll have 7AF plus 3BF, right, where can I go from here? Well, I now know, okay, that AD is k lots of AB, okay, so we're gonna have minus 5AK or KA, okay, plus 6BK. This is equal to minus 5A plus 7AF, okay, plus 3BF, okay. I can now compare coefficients to work out what F and K are. So minus 5 is equal to minus 5. So K here is equal to 1, okay. No, sorry. So you got minus 5K, okay, for the vector for that is equal to minus 5 plus 7F. And then you've got 6K is equal to, so 6K is equal to 3F. That means F equals 2K. I'll put it into there. So we're going to have minus 5k is equal to minus 5 plus 14k. Add 5k here to both sides, and then obviously add the 5. So you have 19k is equal to 5. So k equals 5/19. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. If k equals 5/19, then f will be double that. So f equals 10/19. Okay. So now that we've got what k is, so k is 5/19. Okay. So now I've got, so that means AD is going to be 5/19 of AB, and then DB will be 14/19, okay? Because the fraction has to add to make 1. So 19 take away 5 is going to be that. So our final answer for the ratio, it will be 5/14. So our final answer is 5/14. And that was a very meaty, okay, 5-mark question. Okay, sorry about my handwriting mess there, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, guys, let me know in the chat. Sorry, because I think a lot of you, I think have actually gone now. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so that was quite a tricky question. No worries, MSI. Okay, MSI says thanks. No worries. Okay, Alia says thank you. No worries, Alia. Happy to have you, and welcome by the way, Alia. Okay, and welcome, guys. Yeah, if you're new around here, you're welcome. Okay, thank you for coming here tonight. I appreciate it. And thank you for subscribing. Yeah, okay, I appreciate all the support. Okay, right. I want to do a histogram question now because that's another hot topic. Okay, do I think proof will come up? I can't actually remember the paper one. Actually, I can't actually remember. We can try like a proof question. Okay, I don't think there's a proof question yet in this paper. I don't think. Okay, but I want to try a histogram question, okay? Because that's likely to come up tomorrow, okay? And then we'll look at trying to finish here some of these questions, okay? Guys, sorry, yeah, does it allow me to like share my screen or not? Oh no. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, yeah. Give me 1 second so I can just try and unshare and then share again. Okay. Can you see that now, guys? Let me know. No worries, good to hear. No worries, okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here tonight, okay. So histograms is very likely to come up tomorrow, if not paper 3, because yeah, I don't think it actually came up actually. Yeah. Okay, no worries. Okay, is it back up now, guys? Oh, okay, give me 1 second. Oh, it's there though. Can you see it, guys? Let me know. Can you see it? Okay, awesome. Okay, so histograms, guys. Okay, the key from this, guys, is this formula: frequency density is equal to frequency divided by the class width. Okay, that is the most important formula. Okay, for histograms. Okay, so remember that, yeah, or learn it. Okay, If it's come up, sorry, actually, yeah, okay, but it's not come up here on the AQHE exam, okay. But I'm trying to obviously cater for as many examples as possible, okay. But guys, yeah, any more topic requests, yeah, please let me know, okay. So I'll call this FD for frequency density. So it's frequency divided by the class width. So it's 15 divided by 30. Okay, that'll be 0.5. 22 divided by 10, that'll be 2.2. 28 divided by 10, that'll be 2.8. 30 divided by 20 is 1.5. And then 9 divided by 20, if I'm not mistaken, is 0.45. I'm now going to plot these points, okay, from 0 to 30. Okay, let's just zoom out a bit. So from 0 to 30, we go up here to 0.5, which is there. So get your ruler, okay, and pencil. Oops, sorry. Obviously, I'm doing, yeah, like a rough hand here, but obviously in the exam, please use a ruler and a pencil. Oops. Okay. That's there. Next one is going to be 10. So width of 10. I'm going to height of 2.2. I'll be there. Okay. So guys, the main misconception here with this type of graph or type of graph here is that students think that it's a bar chart. It is not, okay. From here is not a bar chart, okay. The bars are always next to each other. Oh my god, I can't actually draw it. This is a pain. Okay. But yeah, sorry, that's not actually perfect there. Next one will obviously be 2.8, so from 40 to 50. Okay. Oops. I wish I had like a rule here because it make it so much easier. So 2.8 is going to be there. Okay. And the next one will be 1.5. Should be there. And then lastly, 70 to 100 will be 0.45, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So be bang in the middle. Okay, roughly. Okay. And that, guys, is going to be my answer. Okay. Are we happy with that, guys? Are we happy with that? Okay. Remember, the area of each bar or the areas of the bars is just a frequency. Okay, awesome. Rahul says yes. Awesome, okay. Awesome, okay. So yeah, okay, so that's obviously that topic done. Okay, let's go back to Maths Genie, okay, and let's look at some other topics. Okay. So let's try some indices. Okay, so yeah, quickly go over some indice problems. Okay. Okay. So remember, when you multiply with the same base, you add the powers. Okay. X power 11. When it's everything to the power, you cube everything in the bracket. So it's 5 cubed times y cubed. Okay. So it'd be 125 y cubed. Okay. So when you have a bracket, you raise everything inside that bracket to that power, okay? The number and letter, or numbers and letters, okay? Next one, when you're dividing here with the same base, you subtract the powers. 7 minus 4 will be 3, so w to the power of 3, okay? And they are our main ones, okay, for that. Okay, remember your negative indices. Negative means the reciprocal, it means 1 over. So it'll be 1 over 5 cubed, which is 1 over 5 times 5 times 5. So it's 1 over 125. 5 to the power of 0. Okay, any number to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Okay, let's try question 5 here quickly. Simplify 5m squared n times 3n m to the 4. 5 times 3 is going to be 15. M squared times m will be m cubed. And then, and then you got n cubed times n to the 4 will be n to the power of 7, okay? So that is looking at your laws of indices very briefly, okay? So revise that topic if you need to. When it's a power to a power, you multiply the powers. So 2 squared, all cubed will be 2 to the power of 6. Now read the question obviously carefully, okay? Watch out, okay? If it says work out, then it means give the value of. That'll be 64. If it says simplify, then you write it as a power, okay? So that's indices, okay? Let's go over, are there any topics, guys? Let me know here. Are there any topics? Let me know. Okay, I want to try and see K tier for like both tiers now, because I was mostly mainly focusing on higher tier. Okay. Are we happy with solving quadratics, guys? Okay. In your paper 2 exam, for the higher tier, they'll ask you to use the formula. Okay, so solving quadratics using the formula. So you sub in your A, B, and C into your formula, which is given to you. Okay, plotting quadratics, okay, that's quite common. Okay, gradients here. Okay, I've got a lot of videos to share on there. Okay, videos on my channel. Okay, ratios is quite a big topic. Okay, so so Gertie says proof or probability. Okay, so let's have a look here at some proof questions. Okay, so proof is all about knowing, okay, how you write odd, even, square numbers, cube numbers, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, so question 1, prove algebraically that the sum of any 2 consecutive integers is always an odd number. What does the word consecutive mean? It means one after the other, okay? So for example, 1 and 2, okay? 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, 3 and 4, okay? So how can I write this algebraically? Well, if I have n, it'll be n plus 1. The word sum means I'm going to add it. So n plus n is going to be 2n. So you have 2n plus 1. And that is in the format of an odd number, okay? So 2n is an expression for even numbers. 2n plus 1 is odd, and also 2n minus 1 is also odd, okay? So 2n is always even for any integer n, and 2n plus 1 is always odd for any integer, okay, of n, okay? Remember, for you guys, you are always working with, obviously, integers, like whole numbers for n, okay? That's that one there. Okay, what about question 2? Okay, does that make sense, Gertie? Sorry, does that make sense? Alia, let me know in the chat, okay? But thank you for being here tonight. Yes, sorry for making obviously so late at night. I had a very busy day, like actually tutoring today. I was tutoring 3 clients for AQA higher tier, okay? 3 different clients. Okay, awesome. Okay, so prove algebraically that the sum of any 3 consecutive integers is always a multiple of 6. Again, if I have n plus 1, n plus 2, okay, what does the word sum mean in maths, guys? Sum means to add, product means multiply. Okay, so read the question carefully. So you have n plus 1 plus n plus 2, guys. So simplify this algebraic expression. So collect your like terms. So n plus n plus n is going to be 3n. Okay, 1 plus 2 is going to be 3. So I have 3n plus 3. Now here is the slightly more trickier part. It's saying is it multiple of 6? Well, if I factor out a 3, then I have 3 lots of n plus 1. Now this is where gets actually a bit more trickier. If a number has a factor of 3, okay, that also means that it's a multiple of 6, okay? Are we happy with that, okay? Because a factor of 3 means I can divide it by 3. Any multiple of 6 is divisible by 3. Are we happy with that? Okay, so because it has a factor of 3, okay, I can deduce and say if it has a factor of 3, then it will have a multiple, okay, of 6. Oh, sorry. I actually misread. Sorry. Consecutive even. Even. Even into. Sorry, I apologize. Sorry, that's my fault. Okay, sorry. Let's just start again. Sorry. Let's just start again. Okay. Sorry, it said even integers. Sorry, yeah. So even integers. So we'll have. Let's say we'll have 2n. So we might have 2n, and then it'll be 2n plus 2, and then plus 2n plus 4. Okay, because those are the even numbers that precede it. Think of it as like 2, 4, 6, 8. So collect like terms. 2n plus 2n plus 2n will be 6n, and then 2 plus 4 is 6. I can now take a factor of 6 out. Sorry. There we go. Okay, that's now going to be a multiple of 6. Okay, because I've got a factor of 6 out. Okay, there we go. Okay, no worries, Aaliyah. No worries. Yeah, no worries, Aaliyah. Okay, good luck, by the way, Aaliyah, tomorrow. Yeah, if I don't actually catch you. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, but thank you for coming tonight, Leah. I really actually appreciate it. Okay, thank you for obviously, for everyone being here tonight. Okay, are there any more questions, guys? Let me know. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's it here. Okay, so for this one, obviously run this here. Okay, so prove that 3n plus 1 is here all squared minus 3n minus 1 is here all squared is always a multiple of 12. So you would obviously expand the bracket, simplify it, and then pull out a factor of 12 if you can. Okay, for that. But that's the idea, for proofs. Okay, so read it carefully. Okay, the word product means multiply, the word sum means add. Okay, and read the question carefully. Okay, someone's asked for trig and exponential graphs. Okay, so let's have a look at some exponentials. Okay, if it's on here, here we go. So knowing how to plot sine, cosine, and tan. Okay, so a sine graph is 0, 0, 91, 180, 0, 270 minus 1, and then 360, 0. So it looks like this. Okay, that's my sine graph. No worries, MSI. Yeah, no worries. Okay, no worries. Okay, I will do. Yes, I will do MSI. Yeah, I'll do a paper 3 live. Yeah, I think. Yeah, either day before or on Saturday. Okay, I'll let you know though. Okay, but thank you for being here. Okay, for tan graph. Okay, tan looks like this. Okay, it's got an asymptote at 90, so we can never have your tan of 90. Okay. Oops, sorry. So it looks something like that. It passes through, obviously, 180, okay, 180, 0, and then it's an asymptote at 270, okay. Asymptote, is just a fancy way of saying it, that I can't obviously have tan of 90 or tan of that, okay. And then lastly, tan of that, like that, okay. And then you'll have an asymptote at 180, so what would that be? That would be, But yeah, good luck, guys. Yeah, for tomorrow. Yeah, anyone that's actually leaving here, good luck for tomorrow. Okay, 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. 7 plus 8 is going to be 15. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is going to be 1, 3, and then obviously plus that's going to be 4. So good question, yeah. So good question, yeah. If you're stuck, guys, just plug in some values into your calculator, okay? Plug in tan of 0, tan of 1, okay? Tan of 2, okay? So, okay, or just obviously sketch the graphs here. Sine and cosine, yeah, quite obviously nice here, quite easy here. But tan, I think, is the hardest. Okay, so cosine is going to be 0, 1, 90, 0, 180 minus 1, 270, 0, and then 361. Okay, so cosine looks like that. Okay, and again, cosine and sine repeat every 360. Okay, tan repeats every 180. Okay, but yeah, is that okay, guys? Are there any questions? Okay, and then Sky says exponential graphs. Okay, so yep. Okay, question number 4. So sketch the curve y equals 2 to the x. So guys, in the example here, whenever you have y equals a to the x, if a is positive, okay, the graph looks like this. Okay, it's a curve. Okay, it's an asymptote at the x-axis, and it crosses the y-axis always at 0, 1. That's because the y-axis is when x equals 0. Okay, a to the power of 0 is just 1. Okay, and it never ever crosses or touches the x-axis, okay, because you can't solve a to the x equals 0, okay. A to the x equals 0 is non-existent, okay. So is that okay, guys? Okay, does that make sense? Let me know. Okay, awesome. Rojo says thanks. Good. Said thank you. Yeah, no worries, guys. No worries. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay, we'll do about 10 more minutes, guys, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, because it is actually getting a bit late now, and it's important to be fresh here for sleep tomorrow. Okay, matching graphs again, quite a common topic. Here are 4 graphs in the table below. Match each equation with a letter of its graph. Y equals sine x, y equals 2 to the x, y equals x cubed, y equals cos x. So y equals x cubed, guys, is going to be b. Y equals 2 to the x will be c. Y equals sine x, that will be d. And then by elimination, okay, y equals cos x, that will be d. So our answer is A, C, B, D. Okay, again, that's quite a common exam style question. Okay. Again, yeah, so we've got obviously solving actually some trig equations, okay, but I'm not obviously focusing on that here too much, okay. But basically, with a sine graph, it is actually symmetrical, okay. So sine 150 is actually the same as sine 30, so that'll be 30 there. Sorry, that'll be a half, sorry, not 30. Okay, that'll be a half. And then sine 330 is also symmetrical to sine 30, so that'll be a half as well. Okay, the reason for that is, yeah, if you're wondering, actually, yeah, no worries. Oh, hi, Akash, hello, welcome. Okay, is because if you look here, sorry, the graph is 30 away from here, so we do 180 minus 30, which is going to be 150. Okay, and then similarly, okay, for 330, you do 360 minus 30, okay, which will be 330, okay? So sine of 150 is a half, and sine of 330 is a half. So that's my answer for that question, okay? So, okay. So again, okay, this one I think, yeah, likely to come up tomorrow. Okay, so revise this question. No worries. Yeah, iCash. Yeah, I'll I'll do some foundation here in a bit, okay, if I get chance. But yeah, okay. But yeah, sorry for not doing actually much actually foundation. I apologize. Okay. Again, the sine rule, the cosine rule, yeah, are likely to come up tomorrow. Okay. The area of a triangle, okay, if it's right angled, is base times height divided by 2. Okay, if it's a non-right angled triangle, the area of the triangle is a half AB sine C, where A and B, okay, are your side lengths that correspond the angle, okay, and your angle here is enclosed between the two corresponding side lengths, okay. So guys, shall we call it like a night there, or are there any more questions? Okay, shall we call it a night? Are there any last minute questions? Okay, make sure you're happy with solving equations. This is actually for like all examples this year. It is actually for all examples. No worries, Sky. Yeah, no worries this year. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you for obviously coming. Okay, but yeah, these topics here are, I think, mainly for NXRC and AQA. Okay, but for OCR, yeah, obviously revise this as well. Okay, are there any more? Are there any formulae, okay, for probability when to apply them? Okay, that is a good question. Okay, so for probability, guys, yeah, okay, let's actually start, with like the grade 4 actually, and we'll come on to the hard one. Okay, so the key with probability, remember, is it always has to add to make 1. Okay, so if in the exam actually, they might give you saying to me, well, why is this actually wrong? Okay, if the probability here don't add to make 1, then it's not actually right. Okay, and that to work out the probability of any given event, it's the number of number of times it occurs out of your total possible outcomes. Okay, for that. Okay, and then for estimation for relative frequency, you do the number of times the probability. So the question was here, you would do 200 times 0.3. That will be 60. Okay, so we expect to roll a 6. Okay, 60 times out of 200 based on that. Okay, hopefully you're happy with these questions here. Okay, this is, I think, you're likely to come up tomorrow. Okay, so read the question carefully. Okay, your probability tables here have to always add to make 1. Okay, so okay, but and then as for the harder ones, okay, probability trees, okay, remember your branches have to add up to make 1. Okay, so let's obviously do it, question 1 and 2 together. Okay, so Tina has 2 bags of counters, bag A and bag B. Okay, and also, guys, this is like an important part. Okay, sometimes you might say with replacement or without replacement. Okay, if it's with replacement, they'll be clear. Okay, if it's without replacement, they'll also be clear. Okay, so there are 5 red counters and 3 blue counters in bag A. So we got 5 out of 8 and 3 out of 8. There are 4 red counters and 5 blue counters from B. We're going to have 4 out of 9 and 5 ninths. And again, it'll be the same for this one. So 4 ninths and 5 ninths. Okay. What about part B, guys? It says, work out the probability that Tina takes 2 blue counters. That'll be the probability of blue on the first one, the probability of blue. Okay. We always multiply down our branches. So it'd be 3/8 times 5/8, which would be 15/64, or 15 out of 64. Okay. That's for that. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Are we happy with that? Okay. So this is likely to obviously come up, I think, tomorrow. Okay. Make sure you read it as replace or not replace. Okay. And then part B, obviously, read it obviously carefully. Okay, if it says, for example, yeah, like exactly, okay, once, then you apply, yeah, the appropriate branches, okay, or if it says at least, then that would include like 3 out of the 4 cases, or 3 out of 5, whatever numbers you're looking at, okay. But that, guys, is going to be that, okay. Are there any more questions, okay? But yeah, sorry, to answer your questions here. So the formulas here, sorry, yeah, the formulas, okay, I think if I'm not mistaken, okay, so let's look yeah, at like a, okay, is it on the front? Is it, I can't even remember now. No, it's not on the front, sorry. So let's look at resources. No worries, Rahul, actually, no worries, okay. Thank you for that, okay. No worries, actually, no worries, Rahul. But thank you for joining, okay. Thank you for joining. Okay. If you look here, guys, so the formulas are given to you for probability, okay? So here we go, okay? So here, probability, where the probability of A is a is a probability of outcome A, and probability of B is probability of outcome B. So probability of A or B is going to be probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B, and then probability of A and B is equal to probability of A given B times the probability of B. Okay, but yeah, okay, make use of that. Okay. And last year, we'll do obviously just some Venn diagrams. I think last topic here, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so look at some Venn diagrams. Okay, I think that's very likely to come up. I think tomorrow, Venn diagrams. Okay, which bit are you confused about? Sorry, yeah, a cache or a cache. Sorry. Okay, here's one. Yeah. Okay, slightly more trickier. Okay. So question 1, given that the probability of A is 0.9, find the probability of A dash, so not A. Well, not A would be 1 minus the probability of A, so it'd be 1 minus 0.9, so it'd be 0.1, okay? So that means not A, okay, or the complementary of A, okay? It's saying not A. Okay, shade the region that represents A and B. That's your intersection. So that's that part there. Okay, if it's A union B, then you shade in both circles. Okay, that means A or B. So it means both circles. But that means A and B, A and B. So that is going to be my intersection. Okay, but read the question carefully, okay? Because they can make some nastier, like Venn diagram questions, okay? For that, okay, again, yep, A or B. So that'll be everything in A and everything in B. Okay. What about this? So not A and not B. So that'll be everything outside the circles. So everything inside the box, but outside the circles. Okay. What about not A or B? So not A or B. So that'll be everything outside of the circle. Now, because it has a union here, we're going to include, okay, all of, okay, okay, and this part here, because that's obviously part of B. Okay, are we happy with that, guys? Okay. Right, guys, it is actually getting yeah, like a little bit late now here, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. Okay. Are there any like last minute questions, guys? Yeah, are there any last minute questions? Okay, I can do two more questions and then I'll call it a night because it's actually getting pretty late. Okay, and then this one, A and not B. So A and not B. So be all of A, and then not B means it can't have B in it. Okay. No, sorry. If it's A and not B, sorry, it's everything that's in A but not in B and not in other. Okay, so if it's intersection, we do not include the outside part. Okay, so just that part there. Okay, that's that one there. Okay, right. We'll do this one and then we'll call it a night. Okay, question 7. 40 students were surveyed. 20 had visited France. 15 had visited Spain. 10 visited both France and Spain. Use the information to complete the Venn diagram. So first step is 10 did both. So 10 goes inside here. Now here's the key, guys. Okay, in total, 20 went to France. So if 10 is going to be there, then 10 will be there actually because 10 plus 10 makes 20. And then to make Spain, it'll be 10 plus 5. Okay, because 10 plus 5 makes 15. Okay, now lastly, okay, this has to add to make 40. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 5, yeah, makes 25. We want 40, so 15 goes outside the circle but inside the box because 40, okay, was sampled in total. Okay. Okay. Guys, we'll do one more and then we'll finish, okay? Because it's actually getting pretty late now. Okay, and a lot of you need to obviously go to bed actually. But yes, sorry for not covering that much actually foundation. But this topic here is actually the crossover topics, okay, of both tiers. Out of 50 people surveyed, 30 have a brother, 25 have a sister, 6 have neither a brother or sister. So use information to complete the Venn diagram. So 6 have neither. So 6 goes outside the circle but inside the box. It says 30 have a brother and 25. Yeah, sorry, love. Actually, I'm so sorry. Actually, yeah, for not actually doing actually foundation. I'm so sorry. Yeah, for not doing foundation. Yeah, sorry about that. If I put 30 here and then 25 here, okay. If I add these, okay, I get 61, but I want 50. So I need to obviously take off, okay, an amount from there, okay. So I'm going to do 61 minus 50, which will be 11, okay. And then I'll split this 11 here with these here, okay. So if I minus 6 there, then I have 24. If I minus 5, I have 20. So I have 24 brothers, 20 sisters. That'll be 44. 44 plus 6 makes that 50, okay? That's my answer there, okay? Right, guys, yeah, we'll call it like a night now, because it's actually getting pretty late, okay? But again, this is quite an important topic, okay? But I hope it's been useful. Oh, sorry. You can see the chat there, sorry. Okay. But guys, yeah, I'm gonna call it a night now, okay? Are there any last minute questions before I go? Okay. My advice now, yeah, is to call it like a night now because it is just getting pretty late. Okay. Just relax now, chill for a bit. Okay. If you're desperate to do a bit more, I'd wake up early in the morning tomorrow, yeah, rather than do it now. Okay. Because all of my students here that I've tutored in the past, guys, said to me that they've passed here or they got a grade 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 because they slept well the night before. Okay. So that is that. Okay. So, okay. Akash says, can you explain? Yeah. No worries, good. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Can you explain, yeah, about the y equals mx plus c graph? Yes, I can. Yes. Okay. So, y equals mx plus c, okay, is the equation of a straight line where m is your gradient and c is your y-intercept. So m is your gradient, so how steep the line is, okay, and c is where it crosses on the y-axis or y-axis, okay, so we call that the y-intercept, okay. So it looks like this, okay. If m is positive, it will be in this direction, and if m is negative, it'll be in this direction, okay? Here is going to be a plus c, okay? Here would obviously be a plus c, okay? Obviously, plus c can also cross here as well, okay? But to work out your gradient, okay, you pick 2 points either on your line actually or the points they give you. So, for example, let's say I've got 0, 2 and 4, 8, let's say. To work out the gradient, it will be the change in y over the change in x. So you do 8 minus 2 over 4 minus 0. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 0 is going to be 4. So you're going to have 6 quarters, which is equal to 3 over 2 or 3 halves. So the gradient of the line, okay, that passes through these points here would be 3 over 2 or 1.5. And the plus c would be 2. Okay, so you have y equals 1.5x plus 2. Okay, because when x is 0, y is 2. Okay, but that's summarizing, okay, the equation of a straight line. So m is your gradient, so how steep the line is, and your plus c is where it crosses on the y-axis. Okay, if m is bigger than 0, the slope is going to be positive, and if m is less than 0, then it's going to have a negative gradient. Okay, so they might give you 2 coordinates or a line, okay, and a gradient, and ask you to work out the equation of the line. Okay, so to work out the gradient is the change in y over the change in x, and then the plus c is where it crosses on the y-axis. Okay, so they might not give you such nice pointers. So they might give you, let's say, a 1 there instead. Okay, then it would be 6 over 3. So it'd be the gradient here would obviously be 2. To work out the plus c, you would then obviously substitute here in one of the coordinates to work out what c is. Okay, so x is 1, y is 2. So you have 2 equals 2 times 1 plus c. And if you rearrange that, you get c equals 0. So 2 equals 2 plus c. Okay. Therefore, guys, c is going to be 0. Okay. That's everything here for the foundation and higher tier. If you're doing higher, revise here and go over here. Obviously, perpendicular gradients. Okay, so this is so this is now for higher tier only. Okay, perpendicular gradients. okay, are when the gradients are the negative reciprocals of one another, okay, i.e., when the gradients multiply to make -1, okay, so the two lines meet at a right angle, okay, so that might be beneficial when you have an equation of a tangent, okay, to a circle, okay, yeah, does that make sense, okay, Akash, yeah, are you happy with that? But guys, yeah, it is actually nearly 10 p.m. now, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. Hello, Luminous. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shigoti. Okay. So, guys, I'll call it. Can I do vector ratio? I've just actually done that. Actually, I've done that earlier. I apologize. I've done that earlier. Okay. If you watch back the live stream, okay, I've done a vector ratio question. Okay, on a past paper. But I think I'm gonna call it a night now. Okay. Are there any last minute questions, guys? Yeah, before I go here, any last minute questions? Okay. I won't have time here to do any more topics. Sorry. Okay, but I think Akashi, you actually mentioned like probability this year. So probability, just actually briefly. Sorry, just actually briefly. Okay, then I'll go. Actually, I promise I'll go. Okay, so probability, is all to do with okay the number of times an event happens. Okay, out of the total possible outcomes. Okay, so for example here, so let's start here right at the basic. Okay, so right at the basic. Let's say I've got a dice, okay, and I want to work out the probability of getting a 6. Well, the number 6 appears once out of a total possible um, combinations of 6, okay, because there are going to be 6 numbers on a dice, 1 to 6, okay, but this is the notation that I use for probability. So probability of 6, okay, so it's the number of times the event occurs out of the total possible number of outcomes. Okay. Secondly, probability must always add to make one. Okay. So probability must always add to make one. Okay. But yeah, that is summarizing, okay, probability there. Okay. So it's the number of times the event occurs out of the total possible combinations that you're given, okay? Whether it's a coin, a dice, a die, a spinner, whatever it is, okay? It's the number of times the event occurs out of the total possible number of outcomes, okay? So, guys, yeah, okay, I think I will call it there, okay? So, thank you so much, yeah, for obviously being here tonight. Okay, Luminous here has got a question here. So, what questions will come up? Okay, that's actually a bit harder here to actually say now, actually, yeah, but look at the Corbett Maths website, I'd say. Okay, so check out Corbett Maths, and he's got everything on there. Okay, for all the topics. Okay, can you see that, guys? Here, can you see it? Okay, here we go. Yeah, so here we go. So editors here, OCR and AQA. Okay, for higher and foundation. Okay, so he's got a checklist or list, sorry, of the unseen topics. So this is for Edexcel higher. Okay. Oh, can you not see that? Sorry, can you not see that? Is it frozen, guys? Sorry, yeah. Is it frozen? Give me 1 sec. Okay. So I got this from the Corbett Maths website. Okay. These are the Edexcel higher, okay, unseen topics. Okay. So these are the ones you have to obviously focus on. Okay. Because it's a calculator paper, okay, you will get questions on compound interest. Okay. Um, yeah, Pythagoras, trig, yeah, trig definitely actually, yeah, okay, for higher trig, yeah, sine and cosine, definitely, I'm certain of that, I think, well, not sine actually. Yep, well done. An interest, yep, spot on. Sorry, guys, yeah, is it frozen, guys, or is it back now? Sorry, is it frozen or is it back? Can you hear me? Sorry, is it back? Okay. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so that's for that there. Okay, and then if I go back, if it lets me, can I go back? No, can't go back. Oh yes, I can. Okay, so I got this from the Maths website. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so you got, yeah, obviously, so you have the unseen, okay, checklist for OCR, AQA, and Edexcel. Okay, but this is like the best, I think, yeah, best advice. Okay, but yeah, okay, so this will be AQA higher. Okay, but yeah, okay. Right, guys, we will obviously finish there, I think, yeah, because I haven't actually got any more questions yet. Okay, so we'll call it a night there, okay? Because I want you guys here to obviously get obviously some rest, okay? Guys, my advice now, yeah, is to rest now, relax, okay? So my previous students here, so my ex-students here that have got grade 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8s, and 9s said to me, sir, okay, the most important piece of advice here for getting high marks in the exam is to be refreshed, okay? Even if you get stuck here on a question, if you've had like a good night's sleep here, you are more likely to be able to actually tackle that question, okay? But if you try and cram now, okay, I'm not saying this is obviously for everyone, okay, but cramming, yeah, and staying actually a late night here will actually do you more harm than good, yeah, in my eyes. Okay, I'm not saying, yeah, that if it works for you, okay, that's fine. But for the vast majority, yeah, that actually follow me on social media, okay, I'm actually, yeah, that actually should actually, yeah, okay, okay, and guys, please, yeah, if you can actually, yeah, please have some good breakfast. Okay, sorry to actually nag you like actually parents here. So please, yeah, have something to eat in the morning. Okay, have some porridge or some fruit. Okay, just have something here to obviously eat before the exam. Okay, and make sure, yeah, obviously pack all of your equipment. Okay, sorry if actually starting there. Okay, sorry if actually stuttering. Sorry, but yeah, okay, pen, pencil, ruler. Okay, calculator, compass, sorry, protractor. Okay. So someone says actually what breakfast here. So that is actually a bit of a hard one here. So breakfast wise, yeah, I'd say something here that has like I think like protein here. So maybe some eggs, yeah, like oats, yeah, like banana, berries. But I think eggs, yeah, are pretty good actually, yeah, okay. But something yeah that has like protein actually, yeah, because protein obviously keeps you full and it is not like yes, sorry to actually sound yeah, a bit like actually science here, but yeah, protein yeah doesn't have like high blood sugar, so like it will not make you like feel tired actually, yeah, okay, but yeah, it will obviously make you like feel like yeah for longer. Yeah, wheat mix is good, okay, but yeah, maybe avoid yeah obviously yeah like chocolate, okay. Any drinks here, I'm a bit finished here. So any drinks here, obviously, normally I actually say no. I think if you want to, yeah, if you're tired, yeah, I think just for an example here, I think yeah, like tea, coffee, or maybe like one can. I know I'm probably gonna get hate for this year. Okay, one can is okay. Here, please don't go nuts here with caffeine. Okay, obviously don't have the yeah. Obviously, like if it affects you obviously badly, but maybe I think like because I'm panicking now. Yeah, someone say, "Oh my God, says that energy." Yeah, obviously avoid obviously energy drinks here, but I think on the morning of an exam here, I think it's okay to maybe have like one can, okay, but obviously don't go nuts here, please, okay, yeah, but do not obviously say, oh my God, said that, okay, but I'm only saying it in the context to give you energy if you're tired, okay. Obviously, if you're not tired at gym, then obviously don't have it, okay? But also, guys, yeah, drink plenty and plenty of water, okay? So yeah, stay hydrated, okay? Have some juice, okay? But if you are gonna have a energy drink, guys, yeah, okay, only have one, okay? Please don't go nuts. Okay, I normally don't actually advocate, okay, but just have maximum, okay, one energy drink a year. So one energy drink, okay. I can't believe I'm saying this here on like a live. I'm probably gonna get stick for this tomorrow, saying, "Oh my God, sir, made me tired." Okay, so I'm saying it if you ever okay, or obviously even better, okay, tea, coffee, okay, but yeah, drink lots of water, okay, but make sure you have a good breakfast, okay, and pack everything, okay. But we this should like be like more of a no go. Okay, normally I say no to it, and I know it's bad for you, and I know those of you that follow like Eddie Abu will probably give me some stickers here. Yes, this is actually bad for you, but but if you're doing like an exam here ever, then it will give you the right amount of energy for that hour or that an hour and a half. Okay, but yeah, obviously don't go nuts, okay? Yeah, okay. Have a maximum of one, okay? So no more than one, okay? Please, yeah. Like that's if you're feeling tired and groggly, okay? If you stay up obviously a bit late night. But yeah, guys, any more questions, guys? Yeah, okay. I will exit the live, yeah, at exactly 10 o'clock. Okay. But yeah, drink lots of water, guys. Okay. Water and have a good breakfast, okay, whatever it is, okay. So something, yeah, that is high in fiber and high in protein, okay, because protein obviously keeps you full up for longer, okay. But yes, sorry for being a bit scientific, okay. But yeah, okay, yeah, spot on, okay. Guys, are there any more questions, okay? But yeah, let's actually take off a share because I don't want to have like parents saying to me, "Oh my God, sir said this on a video." Okay, I'm not obviously advocating obviously drinks. Okay, I'm not actually advocating that. So I would say yeah. So I would say a good 7 to 8 hours. Yeah, I think 8 hours scientifically. Yeah. Okay, based on research, I think eight's gonna be good. Okay, but seven is is also good. Okay, so 7 to 8 hours. Okay, or maximum of none actually. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, your WJC. Okay, so let's look here. Yeah, is there any W? I don't think there is any WJC. I apologize. No, there is actually. There isn't, but that's fine. Okay, WJC yeah, is quite similar to EdXL, aka no CR, but that's fine. Okay, but yeah, guys, try your best. Show your full workings. Okay, even if it's a calculator paper. Okay, write down all your steps. Show your full workings and just try your best, guys. And I hope everyone does well, and I hope you smash your exam. Okay, but I'm gonna head out now. Okay, thank you so much here for being here tonight. Okay, if you're new around here, please consider subscribing. Okay, follow me on TikTok. Okay, and I will see you all very soon. Okay, bye for now. See you soon. Good luck for tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Where am I looking? Nope. There we go. Bye for now.